Kevin asked a question that 10 other people asked.
All
so
right.
It's a big one. How do you manage a disconnect in values with your significant other? And so this comes back to your integrity teaching. And a lot of people were struggling. It's like, yeah, I feel this way, but my significant other might be very different than me and have different values, worded in different ways, but that's the gist of it.
So I can't remember if I covered this in the high five challenge, but you can't. And you can't. Like, I think it's super important for you to understand that you can show somebody the way, but anything less than showing them and making powerful requests is a form of manipulation. And so you should have open, direct conversations based in integrity and your values about what you're working on. And you should make requests, very specific requests about what support you need, about what boundaries you have, about what behaviors you need them to change. Your spouse will either honor the request or not. But part of, I think, one of the big places that I think people get into trouble, Brendan, is that we, don't actually express what we need. We just assume that somebody's going to pick up on the hints. And so I think it's very, very, very important that you do the 5 habits I'm talking about and get very clear about your values and the changes you're making, the support that you need, and then make very empowered, specific requests about what you need done to feel supported. Then it is up to your spouse to decide whether or not they're going to do those things. So I can give you a quick example. I remember when I was traveling a lot, I would come home and the house looked like literally a bomb had gone off. And there'd be laundry everywhere and dishes in the sink, and nobody would be home. I'd be gone for literally a week. Nobody even knows I'm coming home. And I finally said to Chris, this doesn't work. Like, it makes me feel terrible. It makes me feel forgotten. And then I feel like the maid when I come home and I got to do everybody's laundry. And he's like, but nobody expects it. And I'm like, I get it, but this is just how it makes me feel. And so I made a request. I said, could you please just have the kitchen counter cleaned off and have flowers on the island in the kitchen? That's all I'm asking. Just the kitchen counters cleaned off and flowers on the island. I'm not talking like some big delivered bouquet. I'm saying if you go to the grocery store and spend $5 on tulips and stick them in a mason jar, I'm happy. And the first couple times he forgot, I reminded him without being a jerk. The third time he remembered, and then here's what's important. When they do what you ask, shower them.
Yes.
With appreciation and gratitude, and explain why it matters. And I said to Chris, this is why it matters to me. When I walk in and see the flowers in that mason jar, I know that I've been missed and you remember me. And I know that you actually know I'm coming home today and you're looking forward to it. Because you had to remember to go to the grocery store. You had to remember that I was coming home today. And that act of intentionality speaks volumes. Now, what's interesting is Chris then said to me, got it. I've got something for you. And I said, great. What? He said, you know how we get packages delivered and you make a little Jenga tower next to the stairs to the basement because we have a garage under the house? I'm like, yeah, I'm like just collecting them and then I'll carry them down in mass. He said, I see the Jenga tower of cardboard boxes. And what I see is Mel expects me to take it. And I feel, and so then so this will start to happen. You'll open up a dialogue. Now, here's the second thing I want you to understand about values and why the most powerful thing that you could do is to live with your own values. Chris has gone through periods of our marriage where he has not been drinking, and he is in one of those right now. And a couple of years ago, when he also did not drink for a couple of years, I remember the first night that he stopped drinking, Brendan, I literally was a jerk. I was like, oh, come on, have a glass of wine, because I didn't want to stop drinking. And he didn't. And then the next night, I'm pouring a glass of wine. He's like, oh, come on, it's just juice. And he stopped and he said, would you stop? Like, I'm trying to put my health and my sobriety first.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, you are literally hurting me right now. I need your support. And then he looked at me and said this, and this is what you got to understand about values, everybody. He said, nobody cares what's in your glass but you, Mel. And if me not having wine in my glass makes you question what's in your glass, that's not my problem, that's yours. And he's right. When you start to align your decisions with your values, whether that's going vegan, whether it's staying in, whether it's not blowing money on stupid stuff, whether it's getting in shape, whether it's spending your free time working on your business, when you start to align your decisions with your values, it makes everybody else look at what's in their glass. And instead of doing the work that you're doing, most of us will do what I did to Chris. We will attack you because we don't want to have to look at where we're out of integrity with ourselves. We'd rather try to get you to change so I don't have to think about changing. So when they're confronted, it blows. But remember, it's a sign that your changes are making them think about what they're doing. So just keep on following the compass of your values. Let's go to Felicia.
First of all, thank you so much for coming and sharing your knowledge and passion with us. So when you were talking about the willingness to try and redefining what confidence is, it struck me hard.
How?
Because a lot of, in the sense of, most of the time when you think about confidence, you talk about confidence, competence, and everything that you need to do. But how do you get competent? Is by you taking the action. And a lot of time, because we're so focused on other people, what they think of the things we want to do, that we're not even trying. And I know for sure that's what held me back. So recently I took the action of just saying, hell with it. I'm just going to take a step. And what that was for me is putting out a conference, right? So I'm going to do a women's conference. I've been trying to do it. I've never done it. And I just decided to reach out to experts, whether they say yes, great. If they say no, what the heck? And lo and behold, everyone is saying yes. And I'm like, whoa, all you needed to do years back.
Okay, well, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare do that.
What?
Don't you dare do that.
Okay.
Don't you dare invalidate. I
Mm-hmm.
should have. You know what that is? That is literally, you just took a success and turned it into a sledgehammer.
Amen. Yeah.
Do not do that. You know why you didn't do it then? You weren't ready.
Good point.
You weren't ready. And so when part of what I want everybody to also, like, I'm so deep in this research around mindset patterns and the way that we talk to ourselves. And this goes into the RAS. We are critics. We are not cheerleaders. And I want all of you to relearn how to be a cheerleader in your own life. Because if you don't cheer for yourself, who the hell else is going to? And if you have children or people that you mentor or people that you want to inspire, if you're not doing it for you, how are they going to learn to? Mm-hmm. And so, yes, you coulda, you didn't. Beating yourself down over what you didn't do, mm-hmm. only based on evidence, decreases your motivation to take action. And so a couple things that I want to give you, because I want you to do this, and that is an excellent question. Let's give her amazing. Is there anything else before I go on this rant for you that you wanted to ask?
No, go on the rant. I was just going to say, how do you get that level of confidence every single time to take the action when you
I'm going to tell you. First of all, it's a push. It's not a feeling. So you're going to use the 5-second rule 75 times a day. The moment because there's this gap, like this is where all of the research and the work, and look, the book has been out for 4 years, millions of copies, 33 languages. Most importantly, tremendous research. There's a 5-second window, everybody, that defines your entire life. There's a 5-second window that will determine what this conference is and isn't. It's this window between hesitation and action. between confidence and doubt, between courage and fear, between inspiration and hesitation. And if you think for longer than 5 seconds, what we know based on research is the subconscious part of your brain takes over and you're screwed. Because now all the old habits and questioning and hesitation just start spinning. And now you're trapped in your old patterns. But when you close the loop by counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, counting backwards is critical because it requires focus and it turns on your prefrontal cortex. You now have a moment where you've got the part of the brain activated that gives you focus and control. So you got a chance to try. If you don't move within those 5 seconds, you'll still be thinking about calling that person 5 days from now because this part of the brain took over. And so you're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to push yourself. Here's something else I want everybody to start doing, especially because it's cheesy. You ready? I started doing this during the pandemic. And look, the pandemic kicked me in the face, just like everybody else. Okay. I mean, everybody's life turned upside down. For me personally, it had always been my dream to host a daytime talk show. And I got 5 minutes notice at CBS Broadcast Center right after we finished taping our 157th episode of the year that they found COVID in the building. The show was canceled. Grab your crap and get out. No time to say goodbye to 135 people. Dreams gone out the window. By the time I drove back to Boston, Houghton Mifflin had canceled the book contract. Within a week, every speech that had been booked for a year had been put on pause. And look, I'm okay. I've been saving money like it's my job for the last 5 years because my origin story is 12 years ago. I was about to lose my house. I couldn't pay for groceries. I didn't have a job. So I started feeling like, what am I going to do? Holy cow, I can't go back there. But now I'm in a pandemic and now my kids are coming home and they're freaking out and I want to kill them all because I'm angry that they're not feeling more grateful that they're safe and they're bitching about spring break. And I'm going on and on and on. And I'm going down this negative spiral. And then people that I know start to die. And then it gets really scary. And so I started waking up every morning just like you probably did. And I'm like, my gray hair is down to here and my eyes are sagging down. And I didn't have any words. I couldn't give myself a pep talk. I would stare at myself in that mirror and I'm like, damn, you look tired. You look terrible. Whew, woman. I don't even know if you should leave the bathroom. I literally had no words. So one morning I'm looking at myself and I'm just feeling so down that all I could honestly do was raise my hand and give myself a high five in the mirror. That was it right there. That's right, Jill. Just, that's all I could do. And it felt good. The next morning I woke up. Same problems, same dark circles, same gray reverse skunk thing happening with my hair, same no speaking business, no money, no nothing, same crabby kids, same and I see myself in the mirror and I just high five myself again. And it felt so good. Okay, you got this. Because you know what? Try this tomorrow morning. It's impossible to high five yourself and go, boy, you look fat. Impossible. And so I started high-fiving myself in the mirror every morning and I started putting it on social media and it has spread like wildfire. And I started digging into the research. There's all this incredible stuff I can't wait to teach you in future stuff around something called neurobics. I know it's a stupid name, but we're talking to the world's leading researcher at UCLA. This relates to dyslexia. It relates to neuroplasticity and the way that neural pathways develop and connecting the right and the left side of the brain when you do physical movement with something. It is so amazing. And so we have created this whole series of things that I call the high five habits, that are simple little things that you do that remove the lint and that teach you how to cheer for yourself. So one thing I want all of you to be putting into your daily practice is don't you dare ever leave a bathroom without high-fiving yourself in the mirror, particularly because it's cheesy. You will start to notice that you look forward to it. You will start to realize that you don't cheer for yourself. you will start to see, I realized, Felicia, that for decades, I used to stand in front of that mirror and be like, look at my neck. Oh my God, my chin. I'm like a freaking puppet. I mean, you could kill somebody with this thing. Get out of here, Jay Leno. Check out Mel Robbins' chin. You would literally, you don't even realize how negative that dialogue is. And so one high five at a time, we're going to start removing it. And 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, trying, remove it. When you see that you are now feeling this wave of insecurity and the lint is building in your mind because you're now so focused on what they're thinking, locate yourself back in here.
I saw a question in the chat I would love to throw your way, which is, well, what do you do if you're that person who's trying to do what you did at CNN? You're trying to encourage everybody, you're trying to shout out, you're trying to appreciation, and you just keep running into people who are both resistant or pessimistic, that place of you're that person who's actually trying and other people just won't.
Well, so there's a couple things. Number one, at some point, you may have to have that moment in the mirror after the high five of honesty about whether or not you're in the right place or the right relationship. I mean, sometimes trying too hard to make something work. There's this cognitive bias that I know you're very well aware of, Brendan, called sunk costs. The longer you stay with something and the more time you've sunk into it, the more energy that you've sunk into it, the harder it is to let go of it. We've all stayed in relationships, for example, in our personal life, way too long, friendships, romantic relationships. And then you finally break up and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not do that years ago? We do this at work and with teams all the time. And so sometimes it's not even you, it's just not the right fit for you. And so not making it personal is a really important thing. If you haven't given it the old college try and you really authentically have not stayed at it long enough, then I would recommend bringing even more empathy. Like when people don't reciprocate back, it's usually because something horrible is happening in their life. They're in so much pain, or there's so much crap that they're managing, or they're not transformed like you are, that they don't even know what they don't know. And so feeling kind of sorry for people like that always is like a force field for me, Brendan, so that I don't get their negative dog shaking energy on me.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
Hey, Mel, Vicki here. I would like to know, how do you get back on track when someone else crashes your morning routine?
Okay, give me a specific example.
So this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, my mom got out of bed. She has dementia, and she couldn't find her dog, who was laying in the bed right beside her. So that's about the time that I start my routine. Hadn't made my bed yet, hadn't washed my hair yet. And it was just really hard to get back on track today.
I'm sure. And it's probably also hard given that she has dementia, because you can't predict when that's going to happen.
Correct.
So let's go to the kindness piece, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Being kind to yourself, in my opinion, is also accepting life as it is and not making yourself wrong for the things that you need to do on a day-to-day basis to deal with your life as it is. See, we all have expectations, and I think there's a lot. I think that there are times where personal development can equal an attempt to be perfect. And that's not what I believe at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all works in progress. I think unless you want to be a monk and live on your own, there's no way that you're going to be able to be in control every single day of your life. And that the skill, truly, everyone, is to ride the up and down waves of life and not have those waves that come crashing over take you down and leave you in a down.
Mm-hmm.
And, we want to be more like the raft that's riding the waves. And what takes you down even further when your mom who has dementia gets up and it really just, blows a hole in the way that your day is supposed to start, is you mentally then start to beat yourself up for the fact that it didn't go how you wanted it to go. And the real skill in life, because there's always going to be ups and downs, everybody, always. And you don't want it any other way, because confidence, resilience, courage, it's like steel. It's forged in fire. Even in those low moments, you've got the biggest opportunity to build your confidence, to build your resilience. Resilience is the ability to not let your emotions hijack you when life happens. It's the ability to ride the waves. And you have a particular reality that I don't have right now. You have a mother with dementia. And accepting that that is going to derail certain things, and learning how to be kind with yourself and allow yourself to ride that wave without making it mean I suck, I blew it, today sucks, we're off the rails, I might as well not wash my hair, I might as well not make the phone call. Now that this one thing happened, the whole thing is screwed. The real thing is, okay, we're off track for a half an hour and I only have 5 minutes now. What's the one thing I could do to ground myself? And I'm going to tell you what the one thing is. Put your hands on your heart. You've just dealt with this issue with your mom. It's upsetting because she's got dementia, which is upsetting, I'm sure. You put your hands on your heart, you go, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm loved. Today is still going to be a good day. And then high five yourself in the mirror and get back out there. And skip the part where you make yourself wrong. Okay?
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And look, there are going to be some days, everybody. I've had a hell of a 6 weeks. I've probably done this sucker like 3 or 4 times a day. There ain't no shame in that. There is, what you don't want to do is just try to white knuckle your way through things. Put yourself in pause. Give yourself what you need. Be kind to yourself, because that's going to be kind of what you need. Like if you think about this from a sports analogy, if you blow it, you blow that free throw shot, you blow the field goal, you blow the penalty kick. You're like going like this. What does your team do? What does the coach do? It's all right. It's all right. Shake it off. Come on. We got this. We got this. High five. Get back out there. You got to learn to do that for yourself, because you can't rely on other people to do it. And when you learn to build that in for yourself, that's where, wow, you start to tap into the superpower inside you. You know, I think you forgot that when you were learning to crawl, I might have said this on the last training. I just love this data point. Confidence is in you, everybody. Resilience is in you. You came into this world perfect, whole, and complete. When you learned to walk, you fell on average 17 times an hour. You didn't lay there on the ground and go, well, I guess this is it. This is my life. Never going to learn to walk. No, you tapped into that confidence and that resilience that was within you to get up and try again. And thankfully, babies can't talk to themselves. That's why they keep trying. You realize that? If babies could talk to themselves, they'd convince themselves to stay on the floor.
Michelle is asking, is it normal to be this emotional when you first high five your heart? I instantly had tears and a big wave of emotions. It was like my heart finally said, finally, you're listening to me.
Oh God, Brendan, that's going to make me cry. You know, it's interesting. This hits so deep for people. I mean, even like the tough guys like Dave Hollis and Ed Millett, when I talked to them about these tools, started crying. Yeah. And I think that what you're realizing, everyone, is just how busy you've been and how disconnected you are from yourself. And that you've been sitting around waiting for somebody else outside of you, your spouse or the person you're dating or your friends or your family or your boss or a colleague at work, to make you feel like you matter, to make you feel seen, to give you this deep and profound, affirming emotional support that we're all in need of right now. And so it's true. Yes, it is. I think the resistance is just as much to be expected as breaking down in tears, because you have withheld this from yourself for a long time. And you've been waiting for somebody to show up and make you feel validated and make you feel seen and held and heard. And when you finally fulfill it for yourself, it's not only nourishing, because it's like having a really awesome cold glass of water when you've been on a big dusty hike, and it feels so incredibly satiating. But it's also in some way sad, because you realize, I could have done this all along.
Mhm. Yes.
Why have I been waiting for somebody else to come along? I could do this for myself. And I think that's the secret to everything, because we have been looking for our worthiness outside of ourselves. And the most important relationship that you have in life, and look, I didn't get this. Like, I didn't get this in my bones. I knew I needed to put myself first, Brendan. I knew that I was supposed to love myself. I didn't know how to do it. And so in the last year, have had the most enormous breakthrough in realizing the extent to which I have never accepted that Chris, for example, could truly love me as much as he says he does, because I don't love myself the way that I need to. And I don't support myself the way that I need to. And that I will never feel worthy if I'm always looking for somebody else to show me that I'm worthy. I must first treat myself like I'm worthy. And when your relationship with yourself changes, it changes every relationship that you have, because your relationship with yourself is the foundation of every relationship.
Yes.
If you're insecure with yourself, everyone, you'll feel insecure with every relationship you have. If you don't love yourself, you'll find it hard to believe, and you will doubt that anybody else can love you. And this stuff goes at a subconscious level. And so what I love about the high five habit and the hands to the heart and all the other tools in this book that you're going to practice is that we are giving you the positive thing to do that has an immediate boost. But the way that it works starts to reveal these layers and layers and layers of things that you haven't been able to make movement in, and you haven't been able to have a breakthrough in. And that's what I love about this, how deeply it works. And that's why you're getting emotional when you use it.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.